Good morning, cadets. Today we shall study about the electric field due to dipole along equatorial plane for a point on an equatorial plane. So first of all, we should understand what is the meaning of equatorial plane. Equatorial plane means what? It is a plane which bisects the dipole and perpendicular to the dipole. Perpendicular plane which bisects the dipole is called as equatorial plane. So suppose I draw a line like this. This line is along the equatorial plane and this line is called equatorial line, right? So it bisects the dipole length into two halves. A and A, because dipole length is 2A. So our task is to find the electric field at a point on the equatorial plane. Let us consider P. Let P be the point at a distance r from the midpoint. At a distance r from the midpoint, where we want to find out electric field due to dipole, electric field due to positive charge and electric field due to negative charge. So we must find out what is the distance AP, what is the distance AP and what is the distance BP. So we have to draw a straight line AP and BP, and now we can see the triangle PAB. The triangle PAB is going to be an isosceles triangle where AP and BP are the sides of the triangle which are equal. AP is equal to BP. AP is equal to BP and it is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle PAB, right? So we will start. Let P be the point. On equatorial line at distance OP equal to R from the midpoint O of the dipole. O of the dipole. So OP is equal to R. Now since the equatorial plane bisects the dipole into two halves, so the length OB and the length OA are equal and they are equal to A. Here OA or AO equal to OB equal to A. Then if you look at the triangle POB and the triangle POA, they are right angle triangles. So applying Pythagoras theorem, I can find out what is the length PB and what is the length PA respectively. So PA equal to PB equal to square root of R square plus A square. Applying Pythagoras theorem. R square plus A square whole raised to half. This is also R square plus A square under root. So we got the distance AP and the distance BP. Now we can find out what is the electric field at point P, first due to plus charge Q, and what is the electric field at point P due to negative charge at B. Okay. So if you find out electric field at P due to positive charge, see the test positive charge which is placed here, the test positive charge experiences repulsive force. As a result, this is going to be the direction of E plus. The direction of E plus because of repulsive force. Similarly, if you look at the negative charge minus Q. The test positive charge placed at P undergoes attractive force. It will be undergoing attractive interaction with negative charge. As a result, the attractive force is towards minus Q. So you will have same amount of electric field, but the electric field is directed towards minus Q. So this is E minus vector. So first we will write the magnitudes of E plus and magnitudes of E minus, but their directions are different here. So their directions are, one is due to repulsive force acting along AP extended. Another one is due to attractive force E minus acting along PB. Therefore, we need to find out the resultant electric field with the help of these two vectors E plus and E minus. But the magnitudes of E plus and magnitudes of E plus and E minus are equal. So we write here the electric field at P due to plus Q charge at A. So right here E plus vector is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the source charge here is plus charge Q plus Q upon square of the distance. Square of the distance becomes R square plus A square. Square root of R square plus A square, square of that. So square root cancels with square. Therefore, you are left with R square plus A square. Now you have to mention the direction of E plus. So here you can write some R1 cap and you can write the direction along AP extended due to what? Repulsion or due to repulsive force. Similarly, I can write electric field at P due to the source minus Q charge. Due to the source minus Q charge present at B. I will write here E minus equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into the source charge is again of course minus Q, but we have to take magnitude. Magnitude of minus Q is plus Q only upon the value is again same, R square plus A square raised to 1 by 2 square of that. Again you will get R square plus A square. So you can see here the magnitude of E plus and magnitude of E minus are same, but their directions are different. You can show this direction as some R2 cap. Now look at this. This R2 cap is directed along PB. Along PB vector due to attraction or attractive force as shown in the direction. Right? Now from these two equations, magnitude of E plus and E minus are equal. Now magnitude of E plus vector and magnitude of E minus vector are equal. What is that equal value? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square plus A square. This you can write, just take it as E. You can just take it as E. Right? Now the task is to find out the net electric field due to these two vectors E plus and E minus. So the net vector field, electric field can be found out by two methods. One is by method of parallelogram law of vectors. Method of parallelogram law of vectors. So if you draw parallelogram by drawing parallel vectors and joining the diagonal, you will get the resultant. And definitely this resultant is bisecting the angle between the E plus vector and E minus vector. Definitely it is going to bisect. If this angle is, let us say, 2 theta, then these two angles are same, theta and theta. This is one way. Another way is by resolving the vectors into their components. Resolve E plus into its x component and y component. Similarly, resolve E minus into its x component and y component. Then you will see that the x component of E plus and x component of E minus, they add each other. They act along the same direction, they add each other. Whereas y component of E plus and y component of E minus, they subtract each other since they are acting in the exact opposite direction. So we will follow the method of resolving the vectors into their components. Resolving the vectors E plus and vectors E minus into their components. Resolving E plus vector and E minus vectors into their components, into their x and y components. So I will write E plus, look at this. This is Ex component, E plus x component, and if you draw perpendicular here along y axis, this will become E plus y component. Similarly, if you resolve E minus component will have same direction of E minus x, and if you draw Ey component, you get this. Ey component is exactly in the opposite direction. Resolving E plus and E minus into their components, then E plus x is becoming E plus cos theta. E plus cos theta. I can write this E plus x component as E plus cos theta, and E minus E plus y component is equal to E plus sin theta. E plus sin theta. Similarly, if you write components of E minus x equal to E minus x equal to E minus x equal to E minus cos theta, E minus y equal to E minus sin theta. Look at this, Ey component and E plus y component and E minus y component. Since they are exactly in the opposite direction, so these two components cancel each other. Whereas these two components add each other. They add each other. So that will be giving rise to the net electric field, that is going to be E plus x plus E minus x. That is going to be E plus cos theta plus E minus cos theta. Whereas E plus sin theta plus E minus sin theta, they cancel each other. Y components cancel each other. Therefore, I can write the resultant as only x component. Therefore, the net electric field or resultant electric field at P resultant electric field at P. I will write it as EP. EP equal to E plus cos theta plus E minus cos theta along x-axis. Along x-axis. Y components cancel each other. Y components cancel each other. Therefore, we are left with the net electric field acting only along x-axis. But we know that E plus and E minus, they are of same magnitude. Therefore, I can take this total result as 2E cos theta. Therefore, EP vector is equal to 2E plus cos theta along x-axis. Along the x-axis, I can mention it as I cap. There is no harm in writing the direction along positive x-axis as I cap. Okay. Now look at the right angle triangle. From the right angle triangle, we know that what is cos theta. So we will find out what is cos theta from the right angle triangle. Look at this right angle triangle POB. For this right angle triangle POB, or for that matter the isosceles triangle PAB, you see this is exterior angle. What is that exterior angle? The angle which is formed at P. BP, you can call this some other, BPL is exterior angle. So this exterior angle is the sum of the two interior angles, theta plus theta. And second thing is that the resultant bisects the angle BPL. The resultant bisects the angle BPL. Therefore, that is one way to say that the angle at this point B is the same as the angle here, or the angle which is here is similar to this angle. These are similar angles. In another way, this resultant vector E at P, the resultant vector E is parallel to dipole length. Therefore, if you look at these angles are equal because they are alternative interior angles. Alternative interior angles are equal. So if this angle I am taking it as theta, then this is same as this angle theta. So using this, I can find out what is cos theta. So if you look at this cos theta, from this I can write cos theta is equal to adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Adjacent is A, hypotenuse is r square plus a square under root. So I can use this in the final equation of the resultant. What is the value of cos theta can be written using this right angle triangle POB. From the right angle triangle POB, cos theta is equal to adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Adjacent is A and hypotenuse is square root of r square plus a square. So thus I am going to write what is cos theta. So I am substituting the value of cos theta. I got the value of cos theta as a upon square root of r square plus a square. And I will also substitute the value of E plus, which I got it earlier as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon q upon r square plus a square. So after that, I will get what is the result? EP. EP is equal to 2 times 1 upon 4 pi epsilon q by r square plus a square. So this is E plus or E minus. Then what is cos theta? Cos theta is a by r square plus a square under root into I cap. I cap gives you direction along x-axis. Now you look at this numerator. Numerator you are getting 2qa. So from the previous discussion, what is 2qa? We know it. It is dipole moment. 2AQ is denoted by dipole moment P, where P is dipole moment vector. Dipole moment vector. So I will substitute. Therefore, vector EP on the equatorial line. So I will write that on the equatorial line. EP vector is equal to 2 times AQ divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R square plus A square. If we simplify this, it becomes R square plus A square raised to 1 plus 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2 becomes 3 by 2. So R square plus A square raised to 3 by 2. And then you have to mention the direction I cap. So I cap means along x axis. In this case, it is along positive x axis. Now, from the diagram, if this is negative charge and this is positive charge, and if this is the point on the equatorial line, look at this, we know this gives us direction of dipole moment. Dipole moment is always directed from minus charge to plus charge, minus Q to plus Q. And here we got electric field at P on the equatorial line, which is exactly opposite to that of P vector. Look at this. This is the direction of electric field along the equatorial line. Electric field which is exactly opposite to that of P vector. Therefore, I can write the same thing in another manner. EP at equatorial plane or electric field at equatorial plane is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into minus P vector. Purposely I am writing minus P vector so that I can find out here that the direction of dipole moment vector and electric field vector along the equatorial line, they are exactly in opposite direction. Therefore, it becomes R square plus A square raised to 3 by 2. So here minus sign, negative sign is to show, negative sign is to show that E equatorial vector and P vector are in opposite directions. Are in opposite directions. Even if we draw an electric field line here, we can draw an electric field line passing through point P. Look here, this will be a curved line, right? Emerging from positive charge and meeting at negative charge. If you draw a tangent here, look at this. If you draw a tangent at the point, the tangent is again pointing along the direction of electric field as we have obtained. So this is evident even from the direction of the curved electric field line. Even one can draw the same kind of electric field line on the other side of the equatorial line at the same point P. Let us say this P and this is P dash. If you draw another curved line, look at this. This is also having the similar direction. So if you draw the tangent is again pointing the direction of electric field, and the direction of electric field is opposite to that of the dipole moment. The direction of electric field is opposite to that of direction of dipole moment. So this is the discussion of electric field due to a dipole along the equatorial plane, along the equatorial plane. Now in case the length of the dipole is very short compared to the distance, if this length of the dipole is very short compared to the distance, then we call such a dipole as short dipole. What is the equation for electric field due to short dipole along its equatorial line? Along its equatorial line. Let us see that point. Now for short dipole. Short dipole is the one for which the dipole length is very short compared to the distance. This r is very much large compared to 2a. When the distance of the point P under consideration is at a very long distance compared to the dipole length, then such a dipole is termed as short dipole. Then we neglect a square here. Since a itself is very small, half of our dipole length, a square will be still a small decimal. Therefore, we neglect a square. So when we neglect a square, then electric field due to short dipole along the equatorial line becomes equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 2 times, it's not 2 times, it is only 1 p, remember this, only 1 p with negative sign divided by r square raised to 3 by 2. So this square cancels, then you are left with r cube. Yes, this is the equation, and we can call this equation as 2. This equation as 1. Now let us compare this equation 2 on the equatorial plane with the equation what we got for axial line. Electric field due to short dipole on the axial line is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon into 2 times P divided by R cube. Divided by R cube. So here, if we compare third equation with second equation, definitely E axial, electric field along the axial line at distance r for a short dipole is 2 times the electric field due to the short dipole at its distance r on the equatorial line. So I can write E axial, magnitude of E axial. Magnitude of E axial is equal to 2 times magnitude of E equatorial for short dipole. But you see the direction. Direction of E axial and direction of E equatorial, they are exactly in opposite sense. Here it is minus. I told you what is the significance of negative sign. The negative sign is to show that E equatorial is in opposite direction of dipole moment vector P. And you see E axial is along direction of dipole moment P. Definitely E axial and E equatorial are in opposite direction. Their magnitudes are given by this relation. They are in opposite direction. E axial vector and E equatorial vector are in opposite direction. Opposite direction. Yes. In the next video, we'll solve some problems on these concepts, that is finding the electric field along the equatorial line and along the axial line, and we'll have a comparison both for actual dipole and for short dipole. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.